Greetings, one and all. It is I, Mr. J, welcoming you to yet another, what I'm sure will be an informative and tragic evening of quiz-based content on lovewrestling.ca. Yes, that's right. It is time. It is now time for yet another edition of Quizplex. I must inform you all that I am contractually obligated to be here. I do not care who wins. I do not care who loses. Because in my humble, let's be honest, not so humble opinion, I know all these answers. And you should too. So, why bother? But isn't it funny to watch people get things wrong? That's why I'm here. And that's probably why you're here too. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for your main event. That's right. It's time. It's time. It's Quizplex time. With your host, Zak Ralph.
What's going on, friends? It is the last Thursday of the month, which means something special for Love Wrestling, and that is Thursday Night Quizplex. My name is Zak Ralph. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you to Mr. J for the fantastic introduction, as always. Glad to have you, everyone here tuning in. Glad to have our contestants here. And yeah, thanks so much for being here. I'm going to do a little roll call because usually I ask you all to say hello, and then it's like a cacophony, and no one knows who's going to start first. So I have a little roll call. We're going to do this more formally. First joining us, I'd like to introduce Ed, longtime supporter of the Love Wrestling brand. You know, what's going on, friend? You know, you're always popping in the chat rooms. It's good to put a face to the name.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Was in the last one and looked like a whole bunch of fun, and you shot me a DM, was like, hey, do you want to be on it? I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad we could make this work out. I'm under the impression that you were once part of John Cena's Fast Cars and Superstars. So tell us about this.
I was working for a local radio station that did NASCAR pre- and post-race coverage, and we got John Cena as part of a NASCAR deal when he was doing the Fast Cars and Superstars. So I helped arrange the background information for the interview and then led the interview because the host decided it wasn't a big deal.
Well, his loss was your opportunity. That is really cool. Next joining us, he is the co-host of the Ontario Craft Beer Guide podcast, Mr. Jordan St. John. How are you tonight?
Doing pretty well. Drinking less beer than usual because last night I drank 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers,
what?
Bottle of tequila.
What?
So taking a little easy tonight, but no, not so bad. Ed's lucky that was a radio interview because he's not good on television, Cena. You can't see him.
Can never go wrong with a good invisible Cena joke. Jordan, your co-host, Robin, left me under the impression that you've been really excited to be a part of Quizplex. But before we went on air, you had a little bit of a heel turn. So how you feeling? Are you feeling confident coming into tonight's Quizplex?
I don't know, man. As long as none of the questions are about anything newer than Iron Mike Sharp, I'm pretty good, probably.
Okay, well, we might have some problems, but we'll see how the night goes. But either way, we're going to have lots of fun. Lastly, another familiar face for among the Love Wrestling community, Throwback. How's it going, man?
Not bad. What are you up to, man? How's your day?
Oh, just got ready to host Quizplex and do the whole spiel. Now I reached out to everyone. I asked everyone to let the madness begin. You know it, Mr. J. You're probably going to cause it if history is any indicator. But Throwback, I reached out to everyone. I asked for a little background so I could endear you all to the audience. But I haven't heard back from you, so I'm going to have to put you on the spot. I want 2 truths and 1 lie from you.
I'm born and bred in Massachusetts, not that far from where Cena is originally from. Actually, it's from Lowell, Massachusetts. One truth about living around here is that it is the home of chaotic wrestling, it's also where Finn Balor lost the title at that house show with NXT. For me, we had been doing a show every week since about a year ago. Had Spencer Love on there last night, which was truly a great honor. It really is. One lie. I wish I didn't
You're supposed to tell us what the lie is.
I think no. I'm very honest and I'm very upfront. Like
Okay,
I was
fair.
raised traditional Irish kind of thing. So I mean, if I had to say one lie, is like I like working on cars.
Fair enough, man. Well, I mean, I was going to turn that into a little game. I was going to invite the audience to participate and determine what your 2 truths and 1 lie were. But again, there's value in honesty. So I thank you for bringing that to the table. But also, speaking of Mr. Spencer Love, we have another game going on. Before I introduce Quizplex proper and the rules that are going on, the second game that we have going on, I'm going to be playing it. Our contestants are invited to play it, and those at home are invited to play it as well. You see, when my good friend and producer, Mr. Spencer Love, pops in, you are invited to take a drink. And he's about to demonstrate like this.
Take a drink, friends. Hello, welcome to Thursday Night Quizplex. As Zach was so kind to mention, I am your producer for the evening, Spencer Love. Once again, huge thanks to the 3 of our contestants for hopping on this evening. And Zach, thank you once again, my friend, for hopping on the hosting end of things. Because let me tell you, the nice thing is you guys play the drinking game that when I appear, you guys drink. I play the game where when I disappear, I drink. So this works out pretty well for all of us. Excited to be here. Excited for another Thursday with some great individuals. Thank you for tuning in. If you are tuned in on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, don't forget our contestants cannot see the comment section, so feel free to throw your answers in. Let us know what you're thinking, what you're sure of, and what we can prove you wrong here on Thursday Night Quizplex. Zach, back to you, my friend. I'll stay on the screen, though, because I'm not 100% certain if I have to do things right now.
Well, all I was going to get you to do next was to pull up the video with the gameplay and rules, and of course the point system for round 1. So if you could drop that on us.
Consider it done.
Each player is going to have the opportunity to answer 2 pro wrestling related questions. They will have 10 seconds to verbally answer each of these questions. And if a player gets their first question right, we will move immediately to their second question. While the active player is answering their question, the other players may also answer the same question on their paper or whiteboard. If the active player gets their question wrong, the other contestants can be awarded half points if the answer on their whiteboard is correct. Correct answers for the active player are worth 100 points, and correct answers for stolen from the active player are worth 50 points. Gentlemen, are we clear on round 1 of Quizplex?
Yep, let's get the shenanigans going.
Wonderful. We're doing things a little bit differently this time. I know we've kind of had like a bit of a round robin randomized draw of questions. But what we did this time is we got all 15 questions that we're going to need for tonight. We submitted it to a panel of the Love Wrestling team, and they ranked it by difficulty. So these round 1 questions might be pretty simple, but as we go on, it's going to get a little more challenging as we go. We're going to go top to bottom on the screen. So, Mr. Ed, we're gonna kick it off with you. Your first of 2 questions is coming right up. Who is the only man to hold the UFC, WWE, and IWGP Heavyweight Championship?
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. I will never do a proper Paul Heyman, but that is indeed correct. So 100 points for you, sir. We're going to move on to your second question right now. When Chris Jericho famously read his list of 1,004 holds on an episode of WCW Monday Nitro, what hold appeared multiple times on that list?
This is one of my favorite segments in
gold.
Wrestling history. Yes, absolutely. The answer is armbar.
The answer is absolutely armbar. I think I also would have accepted the Moss-handled 3-handed family credenza, but the answer we were indeed looking for was indeed armbar. So 200 points for Mr. Ed Fries. Jordan, we're going to move on to your pair of questions. Are you ready, sir?
Yeah, man, let's take a shot at it.
Awesome. Who was the first wrestler to have a different entrance and exit music?
Damn. I think it's got to be the Macho Man Randy Savage, doesn't it?
Oh. That is not the answer that we have, but I would like to do some research because now you've kind of got my mind percolating here. We're gonna move on to your competitors, see if they have stolen the answer, but we're gonna research that during one of our breaks. So there might be some revision. Ed, Throwback, what answers do you have? Show them to your cameras. Ed's got Mankind. Throwback, what do you got?
Hold on.
Hold on. Well, you're supposed to write it while he was answering it. Okay. What do we got there? A little lower.
Hunter.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the honesty. Once again, with the honesty, like you're a dream contestant for that value. But the answer is indeed Mankind. So that's going to be 50 points to Ed. He's running away with the board, man. But we're going to move on to Jordan's second question. Name all 3 original members of the Fabulous Freebirds.
Oh, man. Michael P.S. Hayes. Bad Street, USA, of course. There's a Garvin, I want to say. It's not Ronnie. It's the other one whose name I can't remember. And then there's like I don't have the third one.
Tough break, friendo. It's I almost gave away the answer. Woo. Mr. Ed, Mr. Throwback, what do you got for us?
I've got nothing. I've only got 2. They're both not right.
Fair.
I only got Hayes. That's all I could think of.
I got Hayes and Garvin, but I thought it was Garvin.
Jimmy Jam Garvin, right? No.
The answers actually are Michael Hayes, Buddy Roberts, and Terry Gordy.
Oh, wow.
That's a tough one. I'm surprised that the Love Wrestling team ranked that one as so low on the difficulty panel, but I suppose it's all subjective in a way. But Jordan, you still have an opportunity to get on the board because next it's going to be Throwback's pair of questions. If he doesn't get any of these right and you have your answers ready, we can get you on the board. Throwback, your first of 2 questions. Which of WWE's Big 4 pay-per-views was the last to make its premiere?
Royal Rumble. If you're going in order, that is.
That is absolutely correct. The last one to debut was the Royal Rumble. SummerSlam that came in 89. SummerSlam came in 88. Survivor Series 87 and WrestleMania 85. Now there was another Royal Rumble that took place in 88, but we specifically asked what the pay-per-view debut was, and that would be 89. The other one was the year before on the USA Network. Throwback, your second question. Which popular WWE superstar used This Fire Burns as their entrance music for only one night?
Trying to think. It's not Kane. I'd be shocked if it would be Kane.
Are you locking in that answer?
Yeah, I might as well just take a shot at saying it's Kane.
I'm afraid that's incorrect. Ed, Jordan, you want to take a stab at this one? Got Randy Orton, and we got Daniel Bryan. One of you is correct, and it's indeed Ed. Randy Orton debuted the theme song on an episode of SmackDown.
Randy Orton's on SmackDown? Wow, I forgot about that for a while.
I mean, way back when, and how long has this brand extension gone on? They've bounced back and forth between brands more often than they've had. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that analogy, so I'm just going to abandon it.
And on top of that, how many times have they changed music over the years? It's like you have to remember every single title.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, we're going to have our first drink prompted by Spencer, who's going to come in with the scoreboard.
I will come in the scoreboard. Of course, everybody, the goal is to try your best and have fun. But if there was a tertiary goal, it is to win. And right now, we've got Ed in the lead on pace to do that. Winning, I suppose. Again, Zach, much like you, I was trying to improvise on the fly, but my Michael Scott syndrome kicked in. I tried to find myself halfway through the sentence. Ed with 300 right now. Ed leading the pack with 300 points right now. Throwback in second with 100, and Jordan certainly given his all, but unfortunately shut out as of this point. However, when we come back from break, Zach, I will let you take us there. I started doing my vamping, and I shouldn't do that. I should just.
No, all good, friendo. You are always welcome to take charge here on Quizplex. But yeah, with that being said, we're gonna go to commercial, refill your drinks, and yeah, we'll be back in a minute or so.
Mr. J back here once again, reminding you are watching LoveWrestling.ca presents Quizplex. Yes, that's right. I tried to do a vocal effect. Sue me. It didn't work. It's not my fault. I am dealing with archaic technology and incompetent people as technicians. You're all fired. I do apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. However, I do hope, beyond hope, that you are enjoying this evening's episode of Quizplex right here on LoveWrestling.ca, and we do hope that you will enjoy the rest of our content over on LoveWrestling.ca, but mostly mine. In fact, if you could, go over to LoveWrestling.ca and look up Poetry Little Promo. I would be forever grateful for your attention. Oh, I'm being told not to plug my own product anymore. So moving right along. Hasn't this evening been wonderful? Hasn't it been great? I am only assuming because I am not watching as per usual.
We know that last little bit is a lie, Mr. J, because you have been referring into those are all lies. Well, you beat me to my to my punchline, so I'm just gonna let that float there and let that be where we leave it. We are about to kick off round 2. Friends, gameplay is pretty much the same as the first round. The only thing that is different is the scoreboard. It's going to be, this time, double points. Correct answers for the active player are now worth 200 points. Correct answers from questions stolen from the active player are worth 100. Jordan, we're going to kick off round 2 with yourself. We're going to give you your first 2 questions, and we're going to rotate from there.
Fantastic, man. I figure anybody with 2 hands got a fighting chance.
Absolutely. Again, friend, we have had very dramatic comebacks here on Quizplex. We've seen people go from 0 all the way to the championship game. Let's see if we can get you there. Your first question of 2. How many times did The Undertaker enter WrestleMania as the world champion?
Can't be that many times because he's got the streak to defend. It's usually like a special occasion.
Yeah,
beyond like 19. I'm gonna say maybe twice.
I'm afraid twice is not the correct answer. I'm going to invite Throwback and Ed to present their answers to the camera. Ed's with 1.
3.
Throwback with 3.
It's splitting the difference.
Well, I'm afraid no one is getting points for this one because the answer is 0. Nada. Zilch. Jamais. He has never entered WrestleMania as champion. And again, like Jordan pointed out, usually it's the streak. That's what matters. And, he's challenged for the title a couple times against I could go through the laundry list, but never entering WrestleMania as champion. That's a very interesting statistic. But Jordan, we are, of course, going to move on to your second question.
Okay, man.
Who was the first ever masked WWE/WWF champion?
It seems really obvious. But I'm trying to think back now to see if there's like somebody that could possibly be that isn't, I'm going to say Mankind.
I'm afraid Mankind is not the correct answer. But we're going to go to Ed. We're going to go to Throwback.
I'm blank, to be honest.
Ray.
I don't think it's right, but it's the only one that comes to mind.
He'd have to be later than Mankind, if anything.
Agree.
Yes, absolutely.
I have nothing. I can't even think of it.
Totally fair. But Mankind comes shortly after the Big Red Machine. Glenn Jacobs, of course, better known as Kane. A one-night victory. You can't fault any of you for omitting that from memory. That could have been a longer reign. I don't want to get critical of the WWE product. This is not what this show's about. But man, Kane was on fire, pardon the pun, and he could have had a dominant reign as champion if he hadn't just dropped the belt back to Stone Cold the next night. But
that's an extremely transitional champion. They're hot shotting that belt, man. It's ridiculous.
Does it count as
gotta love it.
Does it count as a transitional championship if it goes from one guy to another guy and back to the first guy?
Pretty much, I think.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Sort of.
Yeah, I guess they just didn't want Kane to job in a first blood match. I don't know. Whatever the logic may be. Throwback, we're going to move on to you. We got 2 questions lined up for you. Your first of 2. Who was the last wrestler to hold the WWF Light Heavyweight Championship until its deactivation in 2002?
Taka Michinoku.
Afraid Taka Michinoku is not the correct answer. I'm gonna give Ed and Jordan a few seconds because that was very quick. So take your time just to fill out the answers on your pages. I'll give you another 5. Oh, there we go. We got Kidman and Kidman. You know what? I'm afraid that is not correct. The correct answer is X-Pac. He won the championship in 2001, and he would defend it for a little while. He would eventually get injured, unfortunately, all in 2001. He would continue to defend the championship in house show scenarios, but eventually the title was just deactivated. But it was last seen in 2001, but officially deactivated 2002.
Man, it got deactivated. He even transitioned that go-away heat to the belt, man.
Oh, X-Pac heat. I don't subscribe to it, but I do appreciate a good X-Pac heat joke. Absolutely. We're going to move no, we're not going to move on. Throwback, we have another question lined up for you. So let's drop that on you. How many Royal Rumble eliminations does China have?
2.
I'm afraid 2 is not the correct answer. Ed, Jordan, what do you have for us? We got 1, little, and 5. Friends, I'm afraid there are no correct answers for this question. The correct answer, there is a correct answer. No one got it, unfortunately. The correct answer is 3. She eliminated Owen Hart, Mark Henry, and Chris Jericho.
That was close. That was real close.
You were real close, absolutely. But unfortunately, there's no Price is Right rules. There's no nearest answer without going over. But maybe we will in future Quizplex games. Spencer, let's earmark that. We're going to move back to Ed. We got 2 more questions for you in the second round. Oh, hold on. Corey MLB, always love the work you guys put on the show. Spencer at Love Wrestling. Friend, I'm going to speak on Spencer's behalf. That is much appreciated. We really appreciate the support that the Love Wrestling team gets. And I know, I'm looking at him off screen right now. He's blushing. He's just so bashful. All the support means all the world to us. So thank you so much for joining us this Thursday night on Quizplex. Ed, we are going to move on to your pair of questions. Your first of 2, who is the only person to have 3 consecutive pinfall victories over Hulk Hogan?
Is that pinball or pinfall?
Oh, typo. That's my fault. I entered.
I'm like, damn it! I don't know
my
my pinball. All right. 3 consecutive pinfall victories over Hogan. That's gonna be.
That's a tough one.
I'm gonna say Warrior.
Warrior is not the correct answer, I'm afraid. So we're going to move on to Jordan and Throwback. I told you guys that the questions get progressively harder as the rounds go on, and I think the reception of points is reflecting that. Jordan, Throwback, what do you got?
Slaughter.
Slaughter is not the correct answer. And what do you got? Nash. Again, you guys thought big, but you think smaller. In fact, 2 of you wrote the correct answer for a previous question on your whiteboards. The answer is Billy Kidman with 3 pinball and pinfall victories over the Immortal One.
Must be a pinball wizard.
Damn, man. I knew
Roger
you couldn't powerbomb him, but
Roger Daltrey. That'd be fun. That's a fun scenario to imagine.
I knew that Kidman couldn't be powerbombed, but I didn't realize he was immune to the big boot and leg drop.
Kidman's just immune to everything, man.
I was going to say, Kidman's got the lucky horseshoe up his,
Why do people keep powerbombing him? It's a rookie mistake. All the same, we got 1 more question for you, Ed. What was the first WrestleMania main event to feature two performers wrestling under their real names? We're asking the WrestleMania, not the two performers. Do you know which two performers we're referring to?
No, I'm trying to think.
Okay. I won't distract you. I'll afford you a little more time.
It's going to be... it's... Now I know the two performers. Now I need the WrestleMania number. It is WrestleMania 19.
Bingo! You got it, friend. You got the answer correct. It was indeed WrestleMania 19 that was headlined, by Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle. Pardon me. Ooh. And what a main event that was. I mean, like, that could have ended two careers considering how hurt Kurt Angle was going into it. And then, of course, Brock Lesnar landing on his head with that shooting star press. Hard to forget, man. Hard to forget. But that wraps up round 2. Of course, you know what that means. Spencer's going to pop in. He's going to make us drink. And I think we just need to accept that fact. So cheers, friends. Cheers to our contestants. Cheers to everyone at home. And while Spencer tallies, he's going to pop in. Here it comes. Oh, what, do you want a drum roll? Just come on in, man. What are you waiting for? There he is.
I was waiting for the drum roll. I was 100% waiting for the drum roll. Are you kidding me?
I don't have
we're
a drum.
Still but that was a good joke. We still have the same order as far as our points go. However, Ed with the steal, we are looking at 400 for Big Ed right in the middle there. We've got Throwback still sitting at 100, and Jordan still looking handsome, still trying your best, hopefully still enjoying yourself. I can't make that judgment, but I can only assume. So, still sitting at 0, but we got a big round coming up for you, my friend. Zach, see, like I said, I'm going to let you close it out. I didn't even start rambling that.
I appreciate that. Absolutely. But I don't know. What more do you want me to say? You know, we wrapped up round 2. We know who's winning. And, we're going to be back after one more short break, another little vamping session by the one and only Mr. J. Let's see what other lies he wants to tell us. Let's see what other little wordplay he wants to drop on us. Refresh your beers. Relieve yourselves. We're going to be back. We're going to finish up Quizplex.
Anyway, Quizplex will return momentarily on lovewrestling.ca. Please stand by. Greetings once again, one and all. Mr. J here, telling you are in fact on an intermission from possibly the greatest quiz show on this evening on lovewrestling.ca. Hasn't it been lovely this evening? Hasn't it been informative? Hasn't it been spectacular? I don't think so either. Anyway, Quizplex will return momentarily, but now that I have your attention, I would direct you over to lovewrestling.ca to check out poetry of a promo. I hear it's fantastic, nay, stellar, nay, brilliant. Also, give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter at Poetry of a Promo on both of those platforms. While you're at it, follow lovewrestling.ca if you feel like it. The show, Quizplex that is, will be back momentarily.
If you are wondering why I am kicking off round 3, looking a little morose, looking a little upset, there's a little comment in the over on Twitch that I think Spencer is going to drop on me, and there's really nothing I can really do about it. So I'm just like accepting my fate. Oh, what the? That's
not a comment, young Zachary. It is not a comment.
Mr. J.
I am here to make the show more intellectually acceptable. How are we doing this evening, gentlemen? And I use the term loosely.
We are doing well. Thank you for joining us. How are you?
Watching my hockey team lose, so I figured I'd take out my frustrations on the lovely Quizplex contestants.
Are you
Who's
kidding?
winning?
Right now, it's Ed has the lead right now.
Ed. Kind of a name is Ed. Does he have a last name? I don't know.
My last name's worse than the first name, trust me.
Ah, fantastic, fantastic. Have you all heard Poetry of Promo?
I'm a big fan.
You should be. I will leave you, gentlemen. I will leave you to enjoy your adventures, I suppose, in getting answers wrong. And from what I can see, we are getting many wrong this evening. But enjoy. Ta-ta for now.
Well, thank you for that little impromptu run-in. Mr. J, always happy to see you. Do check out Poetry of a Promo. Fantastic, very quirky little program. Mr. J reimagines like classic wrestling promos as like spoken word poetry. It's a really fun time. Really, really interesting concept. Really good laugh. Check it out. And I am just so relieved that Spencer didn't drop that comment on me. That's what I was worried about.
Oh no!
That's Wonder Kid.
Gotta love Pluggo.
Pluggo. For those who joined us on Power Out, our NWA Power Review, Mr. J caused trouble by making me dance, and now Pluggo has taken the opportunity to try to make me dance as well.
I'll do it for you.
Hey.
You can't let them do that to you like Chopper Pete, man. It's not good.
Oh, come on, Fandangoing. Okay, I'll join you in the Fandango.
Let's just say this much. Like, I'll cover that because considering that fact that Pluggo is also on my show and somebody has to make him because he's slacking. Everybody on my show decides to cut promos. You can even ask Spencer. Half the people are present promos because we have a world title that we're commissioning soon.
Beautiful.
I'll take the opportunity to both vouch for that and make the audience drink.
Perfect time.
And with that, I think I get off the hook for dancing. I mean, I'm certainly not going to top any Fandangoing, so we will leave the dancing at that. I'm sure everyone's going to have the opportunity to roast me at a later date and get me to dance something else, something ridiculous. I should actually probably learn to dance, but until then, that's really everyone else's problem. We are kicking off round 3. Gameplay is going to be a little bit different this time, gentlemen, but again, points worth a whole bunch. 1 question is afforded per player, and correct answers for the active player are worth 500 points. Correct answers for questions stolen from the active player are worth 250 points. So with that, throwback, we are going to kick off. Oh, Zach has those moves like Chell. Thank you, Rye Levy. Everyone, before we go on, please start following Rye. Follow Out in the Ring, documentary about LGBTQ plus in the wrestling scene and community, and their emerging prominence in the whole wrestling industry. Check it out. Going to be coming out soon. I can't wait to see it. Check it out. But again, we're jumping back into that question. Mr. Throwback, your one and only question for round 3. Who is the only man to defeat both Goldberg and Gillberg for the with the WWE/WWF Championship on the line?
Dang, that's tough, man.
Round 3, man. We go big with these ones.
I'm trying to think. So now the question I have is, if I can ask one,
please.
Is it the WWE Championship or the big gold belt?
We're gonna accept it's gonna err on the side of caution. I think we're talking about exclusively WWF Championship, but we'll include big gold belt as well.
Kurt Angle, because in my memory, Angle faced Goldberg for one of those belts. And they did a little skit with Gillberg for a little bit just because of the fact that they wanted to do something funny with it.
Totally fair. Unfortunately, that is not the correct answer. But like that, like I see your logic, the solid logic there. Gentlemen, Jordan, Ed, can you bring your answer a little closer to the camera there? We got Triple H.
I got nothing.
Jordan, if we ever have you back, I promise there will be more answers related to Iron Mike Sharp.
Dude, if you want information about the Cops Coliseum in Hamilton in 1983, I'm your guy. A lot of Iron Mike Sharp content over here.
I'm going to confirm points for Ed, just to get that out of the way. But please drop some fun Ed Sharp trivia. Putting you on the spot. What do you have for us?
Well, apparently the dude, he's like one of those jobber of the week kind of guys, like jobber to the stars, especially in Canadian tours for the WWE. But he did actually win a match. He got the Ronnie Garvin treatment at one point, like on Metal or something, or whatever the equivalent was. He did finally get a win. Apparently, he was the man who showered more than any other wrestler in the history of the world. He's just like always damp. That was his gimmick, basically.
Always.
Cat.
Yeah, there's Cat.
Okay, for a second, I was like, usually it's my cat that's causing problems. I'm like, there's no way he has anything to stand on right now. But we got a cat. We got a cat sighting, and I'm glad it's not me for once. Excellent. Yeah. Thank you for the trivia. Always damp. I think that's a very worthy hashtag and a good soundbite for the evening. Quizplex. Always damp. Ed, your question for the evening. We're gonna throw this one at you. Which wrestler holds the distinct honor of winning a championship in a match against themselves?
Is this Cody Rhodes?
It is Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes was the champion, along with tag team champion, along with Hardcore Holly. They were set to face Ted DiBiase and a mystery opponent. And early in the match, Cody Rhodes defects, and essentially the result is Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase defeat Cody Rhodes and Hardcore Holly. So there it is. Well done, Ed. Jordan, throwback. Would you have gotten that one? That's a tough one.
That's a very tough one. I was going to go with the comedy option of Colin Bomber Harris.
I was going to say DiBiase, figuring it would be close to that, but
very close indeed. And well, we got one more question, and this one is directed at Jordan. Who is the only wrestler to hold both an NXT and main roster championship at the same time?
It's got to be somebody who's made the transition somehow to the main roster after a call-up. I want to say Samoa Joe, but that can't possibly be right.
Unfortunately, is not Samoa Joe. Ed, throwback.
Page.
Your camera.
Page.
We got a pair of pages and a pair of correct answers. Paige heading to the main roster as NXT Women's Champion. Night 1 defeats AJ Lee for the WWE Raw Women's Championship, I want to say. Divas, yes.
And it was also in the movie Fighting with My Family.
Yeah, and they wrote out Tamina. What is their problem? That that was a crime. There was no Melina. We got Zelina Vega playing the role of AJ Lee, which was pretty cool though. So anyway, that's my issue with the movie, I guess. I didn't really expect this to become a film review, but such questions prompt things. But with that, we have concluded a third and final round of Game 5 of Quizplex. That means Spencer's going to pop in. He's going to let us know who won, and here it comes. Oh, I thought I timed it right.
Drink. I tried. It's lag on everyone's end.
There's a lag,
first,
yeah.
Not only am I going to pop in, I am going to pop for the fact that Iron Mike Sharp was once managed by Captain Lou Albano, of all people. One of the all-time great managers, and Ryan, all-time great fan in the comments. I've got to find a better way to put that because there's a higher honor as far as that goes. But that's what I've got to go with for now. But either way, friends, the game is concluded. We have a point system that has been implemented, and it has allowed us to determine a winner for tonight's game. And I believe that our winner of tonight's game may have, and I've got to fact check this, I will qualify, but may have set a points record on Thursday Night Quizplex. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner of a $25 gift certificate to Pro Wrestling Tees, and of course the honor of being the Quizplex champion with 1,400 points. We've got Ed. Congratulations, you handsome man. Oh, I think we're both trying to do that at the same time. There we go. There
Thank
we
you,
go.
gentlemen.
I wasn't trying
Thank
to
you,
put
thank
myself over and call myself handsome. You're the handsome gentleman in the big screen. We need a speech. Give us your best victory promo while you've got the floor, my friend.
This was a bunch of fun. It happened to be a bunch of things that I happen to know. I mean, that's about all I can give you. It was as easy. The questions were things that I've seen, and so it were things that I remembered. But
Excellently put, my friend. Zach, you're on the big screen, my friend. I just want to thank you all for tuning in, hanging out, spending some time with us on a Thursday night. It is always appreciated. Thank you guys for your support of Love Wrestling, and thank you to our 3 contestants for tonight's show for hopping on. Ed, we will see you at the Champions Edition. We've got to determine a date, but we will guarantee that we will have you back on that end of things. But
That's a few months down the line anyway. Like, we got 2 more games to establish before.
That's exactly it. That's then. This is now. And Zach, as you do so, I am going to close.
Oh,
I called it, ladies and gentlemen. I called it. I want to apologize for insulting Ed. You are the winner, sir. Congratulations.
thank you.
Zach, do the dance. Do the dance.
no. I already did a little fandongoing along with Throwback. This is all you get tonight. You get the arrows. Oh, we got. I thought I heard music.
This is what happens when Mr. J joins the show. Things get more fun.
Well,
Have a
thank you.
wonderful evening.
Well, Mr. J, thank you for being a part of Quizplex, be it impromptuly. Spencer, I'm going to leave that to you. You go ahead and flip us before we end up flipping myself and Ed back and forth for the remainder of the broadcast. Jordan, throwback, Ed, this was a lot of fun. I want to thank you all for being a part of the show. Just so much fun. Before I let you go, I'm going to give you each the floor to, plug what you want to do. Let us know where we can follow you on social media, where we can indulge in your content. The floor is yours. I'm going to start with Jordan.
I'm basically everywhere on social media. I'm on Twitter, but it's mostly about beer. There's not a lot of wrestling content because it turns out the beer people and the wrestling people, there's not a lot of overlap there. So mostly I just, talk about beer. It's Saints_Gambit. And there's also an Instagram account where I talk mostly about beer. I should get some wrestling content in there. It seems to drive views to you guys. Mr. J started the entire channel, and I feel like, probably we should take advantage of that.
Much appreciated, sir. Throwback. I'm trying to drag you over. There we go. The floor is yours. Tell us all about what you're up to.
All right. Now we are every Thursday night on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Wicked Crazy Pinfalls from 8 to 9, leading up to Pluggo show and Mr. Warren Hayes. We just celebrated our 1-year anniversary yesterday. We had a slew of run-ins between your producer Spencer, Dennis Farrell, a couple of names I can't name just because of the fact that they have obligations. But it was one insane thing. Then, we're launching out a new title belt, not this one on my shoulder. Yes, come everybody, come all. And everybody, including your producer himself, Spencer Love, has a shot at the Wicked Crazy Pinfalls world title. So you never know. You might see that title belt.
I have
Spencer's
a shot at the
rig.
title?
Yes, you do.
There we go. Zach's ahead of it, too. Whether it's a shot or a drink, take one.
I know the rules.
Other than that, you can follow me on Twitter at Throwback978. Follow the crew on the show too. Pluggo is also a regular on the show. Ray Callahan at Angry Beaver 127, who's one of our producers over there. Even your boy Rob Wilkins, who does Shooting the Sportage and Fightful. Rob Wilkins, follow those guys too. It's not all about about Wicked Crazy Pinfalls because it's our show. It's that everybody can enjoy.
Beautiful, friend. And last but not least, of course, our champion, Ed. Where can the audience follow you on ye old social medias?
You can find me at Ed Fries 2002 on Twitter, and then I moderate for Tom Collihue on twitch.tv/Tom Collihue. So you'll find me there most of the time there with his watch parties and preview shows.
We will, of course, be seeing you again in the championship game. And again, Ed's a regular, man. If you're stopping by Love Wrestling Live content, you're going to be able to chat with him in the comments. He's a valued supporter, and I'm happy to see you pick up the W. Would have been happy to see anyone pick up the W, but good on you, sir. Thanks for joining us today on Quizplex. Once again, my name is Zach. You can follow me on Twitter at SmarkMouth. We'll be rating our friends at CFG Streams, another valued member of the Love Wrestling team, immediately after following tonight's show. Hope you all join. Of course, the rating starts immediately after I get my plugs in. I'm going to win the big thing. Trash Talk's happening already, throwback.
Can I just interject real quick?
Please.
If you look at the timeline on some of the guys on my show, it's insane. Like Drew Nicholas cut a Roman Reigns promo and did it exactly the way Roman did on Tuesday and literally took over the show. So now Pluggo is literally fuming, and I would absolutely love to see, and I'll be very honest, if Spencer could pop on, to have Spencer or Pluggo represent that title. And that's me being honest, because when Spencer doing the show yesterday, and I was going to say it on mine earlier, and I said it last night on the 1 year, thank you very much.
Dude, thank you. It was a blast being on. It was a blast having you here tonight. Thanks for being a part of it, friend.
Yeah, now we just got to get some gold on Spencer's waist.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you ever want that gold back, you might want to give it to someone else, bud, because I'll be your forever champion.
Hey, everybody needs a shot.
Spencer, if you pop in again, I'm afraid that you've depleted my my drink. But all the same, once again, you can follow me on Twitter at SmarkMouth. Follow me on Instagram at Smark.mouth. And you can also follow my podcast, the Smark and Friends podcast, on Twitter at Smark and Friends. Look it up. Very easy to find. In fact, Mr. Jordan is going to be joining me on our next episode next Thursday. I'll be welcoming himself and his co-host of the Ontario Craft Beer Guide podcast. Did I get all that right, Jordan?
That's right. It's the Ontario Craft Beer Guide, the podcast. We're hoping we don't work ourselves into a shoot.
We are going to have a great time. Yourself, your co-host Robin is going to be joining me on the show. And once again, thank you for tuning into this month's Thursday Night Quizplex. We're going to be back next month, of course, with a new slew of competitors. But for tonight, please check out CFG Streams, which we are about to raid. Thank you for joining us, and keep following Love Wrestling wherever you catch us. Till next month, friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, the points have been tallied, the winners have been announced, the losers have been sent packing, and I am still as ever Mr. J, better than everyone that competed tonight. It is, as always, a fact of life. In case you're wondering when this lovely, lovely show will be returning, it is the last Thursday of each and every month, right here on lovewrestling.ca. We hope that you will return next month, and we hope that you enjoyed this evening's festivities and the competition and the knowledge. Until next time,